This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Former Minnesota Vikings tight end Byron Chamberlain, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos, played a couple of productive seasons with the Minnesota Vikings, and via the tweet machine at BC_Chamberlain. Byron, it was great seeing you in London. How are things out SoCal way, and good morning?
Good morning. How you doing? Everything is wonderful out here in Southern California. Looking forward to the Vikings showing up in town this week.
I lived in Southern California for a decade and a half, went to high school and junior college there at Pasadena City College from 79 to 93 overall, and it was wonderful. Traffic always has been a thing with the 405, but Newport Beach, Huntington Beach, and then Redondo and Venice and all that. Fantastic. Is that still the case? Is Southern California still a great place to live?
It is still a great place to live. So much to do out here. The weather's been incredible this week. It's been in the low to mid 80s all week long, so it's just been great. The beaches, of course, the places to be. I'm now at Cal State LA, so I'm not too far from PCC. Yeah, in your old PCC days. Nice.
Well, will we see you at the game tomorrow night?
You definitely will see me there. I'll be wearing my Vikings purple, cheering on our team. So
that's sweet. Who's the best overall tight end in the NFL and why?
That is a great question right now. There's just some guys I like. Of course, I like our guy. I like TJ for sure, and he's one of the guys that I watch, and he's carrying on that tradition of excellent Vikings tight ends. I like and he's not much of a blocker, but Pitts. I like Pitts in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really do much blocking. He's more like a big receiver. But I like what he can do down the field. I like the kid in Oakland, out of Georgia, Bowers.
Yeah.
He's to me, he's like the next guy. He's up and coming. He's so athletic. He can just do so much, and he's just such a threat. So those are some of the guys that I really watch.
And the LA Chargers have a tight end named Oronde Gadsden II. Now, Byron played when Oronde's father played wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, Oronde Gadsden. And his son, the second, that young man, Byron, just went for like 170 and won as a Syracuse rookie. Do you know anything about this Oronde Gadsden II?
Yes, I do. And like you said, I know his father played in the same era as his father, and I got a chance to cover him when he was at Syracuse. I did the game when Syracuse played Western Michigan a couple of years ago, and he's just just watching film on him, just so athletic. He's the guy that creates the mismatch problems. We talked about Pitts down in Atlanta. Similar to him, he's not going to wow you with his blocking, but he blocks just enough. But he's the guy that in that passing game, he's gonna create mismatches. He's a guy that can take it down the field, down the seam, so you can really get big plays and become a threat at the tight end position. So got a chance, like I said, to cover him a couple of years ago when he was at Syracuse.
BC, Byron Chamberlain. Does anybody care about the Chargers in Southern California?
Absolutely not. The thing about it is people still look at them as the San Diego Chargers. And a lot of people in this town think, hey, they're not our team. The Rams, coming back from St. Louis years ago, they had a built-in fan base here that never left. And everybody knows this is when it comes to football, it's a Rams town, it's a USC Trojans town, and the other sports it's a Lakers town and it's a Dodgers town for sure. The Chargers are kind of like the misfit toys. nobody wants to play with. So, it's tough for them. It's been tough for them to build a fan base here in LA.
Your Dodgers, out Chavez Ravine way, they're favored to win the World Series for a second consecutive year. Then you got LeBron and Luka and the Lakers. LeBron didn't play last night. Luka had just a massive, massive game, but they still lost to the Golden State Warriors. So who would you say overall is the more popular team and why? The Dodgers or Lakers?
Oh, it's definitely the Dodgers. It's definitely the Dodgers.
Really?
And it's not even close right now.
Wow.
One of the things about LA, it's a town where you got to win championships to get people's attention, or you got to compete for championships. And right now, I guess the Lakers are just not on that playing field, on that level right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dodgers are. And, this whole town is going crazy with the chance of the Dodgers to win it. You're definitely seeing a lot of energy and a lot of just attention being paid to the Dodgers right now, and this is truly a Dodgers town. So everybody's excited about the upcoming World Series. I think we start on Friday, so. It's a big deal out here.
Byron Chamberlain is a two-time Super Bowl winner as a tight end for the Denver Broncos. After that portion of his career, he landed with the Minnesota Vikings. That's how I got to know him. And we've stayed in touch over the years. I recently saw him at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and here he is doing a Covenant catch-up as we head to his part of the country, Southern California, where Byron lives, for the Chargers tomorrow night, 7:15 Central on KFAN. And back to SoFi Stadium and the Rams and the Chargers for a second. As a player, all right, how would it feel if you played for either the Rams or the Chargers and you have a home game and say the Niners or Chiefs fans dominate the building every single season? Wouldn't that bug you?
I think it's just the way it is out here. I mean, we're a city where a lot of people come from other places and for whatever reasons, whether they're coming in for the entertainment industry or coming for just new opportunities. So we got a lot of people from a lot of different places. And when they come out here, whether they're coming out here from Chicago or Minneapolis or Cleveland or whatever, they bring their loyalty with their teams with them. So they show up in our stadiums, and it's kind of funny, especially with the Chargers. I mean, the joke is it's always the other team's home game,
right?
Because there are a lot of fans from and then the other part is a lot of people come out here just for that game. They plan their vacations around it to come out to California for that. So it's a weird situation to be the home team and the stands look like you're the visiting team.
Byron, just a couple more here for Byron Chamberlain, beloved BC. Byron attended the University of Missouri and Wayne State. And I know you love Missouri Tigers football, man. And the squad is like 14th in the country. You love those Tigers, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And we got a big one this weekend going to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt looks like, the darling of the NCAA right now. They're in the top 10. They're having unprecedented success in the SEC as well as, overall. So it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be, to me, it's the game of the week. And whoever, wins this game between Missouri and Vanderbilt will probably have an inside track on one of the playoff spots. So it's kind of a weird thing to say. It's been a weird kind of college football season. So I'm looking for a huge game with the Tigers and Vandy. They have they're making a Heisman Trophy candidacy for their quarterback, Diego Pavia, and he deserves it. He deserves it. He's, like I said, he's done some things and led that team to some unprecedented success overall. So
when you played for the Vikings for those couple of years, you had a teammate who played on defense who was really, really good at Vanderbilt. Do you remember who it was?
Oh, man.
I'll give you a hint. Defensive back, one season he had 8 or 9 interceptions. Here's your final hint. He was known for his college film watching skills and would always walk around with a
that's Corey Chavis.
Give it to me.
Vanderbilt legend.
Oh, he was fantastic. And he's great in the NFL.
And I got to know Corey actually when he was in college at Vanderbilt.
Really?
His uncle was a big time
Barney.
Broncos legend, Barney Chavis, and was on our coaching staff when I was with our 2-time Super Bowl championship team. And so Corey would come out and work out with us. And he'd be on the field and picking our brain and trying to cover Ed McCaffrey and Rod Smith. And so he would spend his summers out there in Denver with us. So got to know him very, very well, became a very, very close friend. And I totally spaced on he went to Vanderbilt. Very intelligent guy.
I think Corey, when he was in middle school or high school, and Barney was on the coaching staff for the Broncos, Corey may have shut down in a practice a receiver named Haven Moses, but I had to remind Corey Haven might have been 68 years old. I always loved that at that time.
Maybe.
All right, lastly, with back in the day at Missouri. All right, so you're going to have a career that gets you to the National Football League, which is hard, and it doesn't happen for most people. So clearly, you were very good. How would NIL have worked out for you back in the day at Missouri? I mean,
oh my God!
Would you have gotten fat stacks of like gift certificates or money from CC City Broiler?
CC City, good old CC City Broiler. I would want mine from Shakespeare's Pizza. That's probably I want my certificates from. Born in a different era.
Mm-hmm.
I love NIL. I love what it's doing for some of these players, and a lot of these players come from situations where their families really are being helped with this NIL money. The only thing that I think is, there should be some guardrails around it. It's the NIL. I mean, it's kind of the wild, wild west right now. And there just needs to be some guardrails around the NIL and the combination of the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that the players are benefiting now. I love that they, like I said, it is helping some of these families that, some of these kids who are coming from desperate situations. So, more power to it. I think I would have made a couple bucks here or there.
BC, that was a fantastic Covenant catch-up for the public on KFAN. We'll do the same thing on the sideline tomorrow night before the Vikings and LA Chargers. I greatly appreciate the time. Have a wonderful day, okay?
All right. Thanks, man, for having me. Go Vikes.
See you, bud. Byron Chamberlain, former Vikings tight end at BC_Chamberlain via the X machine. The penultimate is around the corner. It involves the NFC North, identity, or lack thereof. But first,
The Fan and Two Men in a Junk Truck want to give you a chance at some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword money, and you might win some money. With the keyword money at KFAN.
This is an identity piece involving the National Football League, specifically the NFC North. And talkbacks, if you want to fire some talkbacks in on what I'm about ready to unfurl, then we will have time to play a few in either this segment or the final segment, and that I promise. So talkbacks, if you'd like to help, free iHeart audio app, you get it. From 3 and 3, here's what the talkback would be. Define the Minnesota Vikings identity. That's it. Talkback, free iHeart audio app.
Ugh.
Up to 30 seconds from 3. I mean, Matt, producer, works with it every single day and does Vikings fan line. And it's an UG.
It's an UG.
It's an UG. It really is. From 3 and 3 via the talkback or talkback define the Minnesota Vikings identity. Get on in here and help the cause. NFC North identity. We have Green Bay and this guy.
3 receivers right, 2 to the left. 5 wide. Here's the snap. Brissett sets in the pocket. He's chased.
Yes!
He's sacked. It is the Micah Parsons project. Back outside the 20-yard line. Oh, did Micah Parsons bring it on this set of downs?
Wayne Larrivee, the dagger on the Packers ever-expanding audio network.
How about the Micah Parsons project?
Yeah.
Alan Parsons style. It's a brilliant little bit there by Larrivee.
I wrote that into the Tolstoy Monday, and when I wrote it in, it was copyright Wayne Larrivee. Because as I was mowing and chopping the leaves and everything this weekend, when Fan Line would go to break, I would listen to Packers Arizona. And I heard Larrivee unfurl the Micah Parsons project, copyright the dagger. And Micah is that of identity. Okay. So is Justin Jefferson. We'll get to the Vikings momentarily. But the Packers, as they await their quarterback, taking another step from, whether you want to say from good to very good to elite, you can frame it up however you want. They're waiting for him to take the next step. They're working through some offensive line situations. Josh Jacobs scores 2 times every single game, but he's battling some injuries. Their first-round receiver, Golden, with Dobbs and Dontavian Wicks, and Tucker Kraft is the bomb. But can you really say that identifies Green Bay Packers football in 2025? I can't. What I can say is Micah Parsons just had 3 sacks, and you just don't get traded from the team that brought you into the league and immediately become Lawrence Taylor out of the gate. It takes time. Well, the identity of the Green Bay Packers is becoming that of a ferocious pass rushing defense that has some corners and safeties like K9 guy Keyshawn Nixon or say Evan Williams, where I think they believe they probably can do better. But when you pay the quarterback what you pay the quarterback, then you can't exactly go out there and try to get the Sauce Gardners of the world until the ledger evens out. So that pass rush is super important to them for myriad reasons. But the pass rushing excellence of the Green Bay Packers with the likes of Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, and Edgerrin Cooper, that has become their identity. And it's a good identity. What about the Lions and this guy?
First down, hands to Jameer Gibbs. There he goes. Foot race, right side. You got no shot at catching that man. 10-5, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions. 78 yards, a bolt of lightning, and the Lions are an extra point away from doubling up their lead.
The division champions, the reigning division champions, drip identity. We put the Gibbs highlight in there. It could have been Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
It could have been Aiden Hutchinson. It could have been Branch and or Joseph doing something. They drip identity. Their quarterback has been to the Super Bowl and, for the most part is pretty solid, pretty sound, and pretty consistent. So the Lions, they have identity all over the place, man. Then you get to the Chicago Bears with their new coach, Ben Johnson. The Bears have settled into beloved BJ's bust you up style.
And 4 yards behind him is Monungai. Motion right is Loveland. Give to Monungai. Slanting in for the touchdown. Touchdown Bears. And the first career rushing touchdown for Kyle Monungai. Only a yard, but it expands the lead to 19-0.
When I say Ben Johnson has his team is settling into its identity, that's beloved BJ's bust you up style with the running game. Anybody happen to know what's happened with the Bears running game the last 2 games? Anybody have any idea? Because this stuff takes time when you have new coaches and new quarterbacks and new schemes and new expectations and new cultures. The Chicago Bears the last 2 games have run for 346 yards.
Oh my gosh.
Both wins. He's raising a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's raising a quarterback who never played under center and turned his back on the defense via play action. He's working with that guy he's getting the bust you in the face style of running game. And by the way, they've won both those games where they've run for that 346. He's getting that squared away as he raises the quarterback to take pressure off the quarterback as they have him do things he's never done. It's coming together. The running game with the Chicago Bears is identifiable to what Ben Johnson wants to do here or in Detroit and then play off of it so they have an identity. What about the Minnesota Vikings? What's their identity? I mean, no takeaways 3 games in a row. Not sacking with the new interior guys. And I said new. Jalen Redmond's the best defensive lineman they have. But he's been sacking all year. But the new guys. Not sacking with new interior guys or from the edge, sans Van Ginkel. Fixed the run defense, and Jalen went for a perfect passer rating. Ballyhooed kid quarterback's not playing. New guy makes his debut and leaves fans wanting more, talking about Carson Wentz with like a 38-point victory against Cincy. Fans left U.S. Bank Stadium, knew they weren't going to see their favorite team for a month. And Carson, along with others, but Carson, in his debut, left them wanting more. It's been topsy-turvy ever since. And both quarterbacks the Vikings have used this year, outside of the mop-up with Throsmer, both quarterbacks have thrown pick sixes.
Oh, my God.
So the kicker is fantastic, but the kicker can't be the identity. So what's the identity? Free iHeart audio talkback. You got up to 30 seconds. We'll pause now. Drop in some talkbacks, and I'll share with you what moving forward I believe the identity will and maybe has to be. But that's around the corner on KFAN.
I can't wait until tomorrow.
Talkbacks 9 to noon, courtesy of FVPparts.com. FVP batteries, verified and proven. Discussing identities of the NFC North. Let's bring the guests in first and see what they have to say. The guests being the talk backers, kind enough to take time out of their days to go to the free iHeart audio app and leave a talk back. The question was, identify the Minnesota Vikings 3-3, define what their identity is into this Chargers game.
Hey, PA. Hey, Nordo. Max Megan again. I think their record perfectly describes what this team is. They're just average. We're 3-3 because we will win half of our games and we will lose half of our games if we keep playing the way we're playing. We make good plays, we make bad plays. We play well on defense, we play bad on defense. It's just how this Vikings team is, and that's how it's going to be the whole season, I think. We're just average. See ya.
Through 6, defined pretty accurately, through 6. Through 6. Teams with some of the players this team has on it, injured or not, not supposed to be of the average variety, like 8-9 or 9-8 at the end of the equation. What's next?
Hey, PA, it's Annie from St. Anthony, and I'm calling in to answer your question about the Vikings' current identity as a team. And my take is that we're playing the long game. That's our identity at this point. I don't think we give enough credit to KOC and leadership to really foster JJ so that we can define our identity as a winning team in the future.
Well done. Because they are playing the long game, having to wait for the quarterback. So the quarterback healthy, throwing pick sixes or 4 touchdowns against 0 interceptions a game, JJ McCarthy, that is the long game. That it's not everything in the ultimate team game, but it's a lot because a big investment was made into him, and it's age old. If you can hit on these quarterbacks and have them for 5 years on quasi team friendly deals and fortify the village, I mean that's how you get to end or win the Super Bowl. That's the long game. That truly is the identity of the Minnesota Vikings, the long game with JJ McCarthy. And being more of a game by game or like, from 3-3 after this Chargers game, just like on the field, what do we think the identity is? That'd be different. But the overarching identity, Annie laid it out nicely. What's next?
APA, Tim from Shoreview. I think we need to channel our inner Hall & Oates to identify the identity of the Vikings. Shake it up is all that we know, using bodies up as we go. I'm waking up to fantasy. The shades all around are the colors we used to see. You're out of touch. I'm out of time. Let's start the kid. Skull.
That's Just for the time you put into that to actually, I'm going to guess that you had to hit the Google machine for out-of-touch lyrics. Shake it up, all that we know. That was really cool. And multiple bodies because of the injuries. Very well done there. What about it having to be the passing game? You drip identity with Jefferson and Addison, and Naylor gets open more than he doesn't. Other than the fourth quarter at Soldier Field, the Cincinnati game, or the Addison drive at Tottenham, there's been nothing identifiable with this group, and that just has to change.
Yeah.
Last year, they took it from you and scored with it. That's an identity. They sacked you and battered you and bludgeoned you and forced you to throw it to them. And Van Ginkel would get to the house. That's an identity. Well, we're lacking Van Ginkel, which means from that facet, you're lacking identity. Instead of an identity crisis, we need to establish identity lysis. Lysis. Lysis, as in the disintegration of a cell by rupture of the cell wall or membrane.
I always love that.
Speaking of Google.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about finding words that rhyme with crisis, and they're trying to push basis on me. That ain't going to happen. Instead of an identity crisis, we need to establish identity lysis. Yep. It's time to start blowing up cells, cell walls, and membranes. That's the only answer. Identity lysis. Let's just tear up those charger cells, rip up those cell walls, and get into the insane in the membrane.
I always love that one.
It's the only answer. If we lose tomorrow night, if the Vikings lose tomorrow night and all others in the division win, our problem just becomes larger. I mean, now we're approaching the midway point of the season, and the Chargers are so beatable. We're 3.5-point underdogs in this game. So I'm just spitballing here, like, if an identity transpires tomorrow night, the Chargers have, at least statistically, a pretty good, if not really good, pass defense. Derwin James, one of their safeties, is the bomb. What a phenomenal player and career he's had. So maybe this is putting valor as the better part of discretion. But your best players are wide receivers, and your head coach is pretty good with his throwing schemes. So, I don't know. Maybe it's the passing game. What do you think for identity, the con?
Well, I get where you're. That is the identity of this team. Sadly, right now, is the star power that it has at its fingertips. That being Justin Jefferson, the ability of a Jordan Addison, and so that is the quickest route to finding it.
Yeah.
Last year, you had a team that led the NFL in turnovers. The defense.
Yeah.
That could be an identifiable point. No takes in the last three.
Big time.
This is a team with that pass rush when healthy. From a pressure rate perspective, success in an all-pro type season for an Andrew Van Ginkel. That's off the table. The identity of this team is inconsistency. And there, we heard it through the talkbacks, varying ways of how to put it, the ups and downs. You heard from Annie and just kind of the 3-3. There's another talkback that just said the Vikings identity right now is they're basically an average Lions team that were built in similar ways, but that stuff is working in Motown. Our stuff is now working in Minneapolis. Their inability to do the things they did so well a year ago, the inconsistency, I think, is that that's our identity right now. I don't know if they can get to that passing game that you want. I'm excited for JJ to get healthy, and we're going to get to see him at some point. I'm going to root for Carson tomorrow night, absolutely. Hope that he throws for 404 against the Bolts. I don't know if we can get to that, where we can say, well, we're 4-3, or even if we're 3-4, but man, we know under the right circumstances, if we get a right play, we can support this identity, which is we're high flying through the air. The coach wants to pass. He's doing everything he can do to make that our identity. I don't know if we have the right option under center right now. Inconsistency for me is the name of sadly, the name of a 3-3 game.
Yep, that would be the identity, that of inconsistency. We detailed it a little bit Monday, after the montage.
But it's like you can't beg it. I've done this. Like, man, I wish they ran the ball more. You can play that. You can think that, and you can look in certain aspects. Like they're never. It's never going to be the identity of this team, right? I think it's fair to say that how this offense is constructed, it's never going to be Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. That dueling attack is the identity of the Vikings. I think it can very quickly shift, however, where defense, despite offensive-minded head coach, if the sacks start coming and the turnovers start coming, you can start to have that conversation again. As I know, as tough as it was to watch Jalen Hurts do what he did, perfect passer rating and everything, I think that can start to become your identity again. So whether it's air attack at its finest or potentially defense starts taking it again, starts killing QBs again, I think that is another pathway, hopefully, to victories and consistency from the Purple.
Beautifully stated. And more of the 2025 Minnesota Vikings identity, or lack thereof, will be revealed tomorrow evening at 7:15 with the Boom. And by the way, there is a pregame football feast tomorrow night, Buffalo Wild Wings Savage.
5 p.m., I think.
5 o'clock, Buffalo Wild Wings Savage tomorrow, Thursday, featuring Muss doing Vikings Football Sunday.
You think he's going to be doing like Helga horns and like beer drinking games and stuff?
Probably after he says, and now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, Lolita and Tanqueray. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow from Los Angeles. He's Mad Producer Eric Nordquist, and I'm Paul Allen. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. The program is next.
9 to noon.
If it's good news or money, leave a message.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.